really love to visit Vietnam because of the beautiful nature and just the beautiful beaches and experience in Southeast Asia. I've been to other countries around there, and yeah, that's the next on my bucket list.
What we are addressing here is the bucket list of people once they retire, and doing those things that they have always dreamt about, but could often not afford or spare the time to enjoy. So the purpose of this course is to highlight the importance of proper planning and preparation for these adventures, especially in cases where it is planned to visit places where no man has gone before. Both for retirees as well as the younger crowd who have the time and resources to undertake such adventures. A bucket list is a collection or summary of all your hopes, dreams and aspirations you wish to fulfill before you die. This list should preferably be in writing for future review and updating. A recent Stanford University School of Medicine survey of 3,056 people found that 91% of them had a bucket list. Things they want to do before they die. Much has been said about people and their bucket lists, and there have been numerous articles and surveys on the internet. Some surveys even suggest that by far the majority of people never ever complete their lists. I believe that a bucket list is a continuous work in progress, and as such, I can subscribe to the idea that the majority of people never complete their bucket list. If you were really able to complete your bucket list, what then? Do you just become depressed, negative, and possibly even curl up and die? I believe that even as a child, you have a bucket list. It is just not committed to paper. It is the learning and achieving phase of your life. Learning to ride a bicycle, learning to walk, learning to ride a horse, learning to swim, etc.
Good afternoon and welcome to day 3 of the Stay Alive webinar, where I address some do's and don'ts of managing your bucket list. Everyone has dreams and adventures they wish to explore, but sadly, many people on their deathbeds express the regret about all the things they still wanted to do, but have never got round to it. Unless we take the trouble to take these things seriously and work to a plan, then more likely than not, we will have similar regrets when our time comes. In the video you just viewed, we identified some issues that we need to address in our planning and preparation. Let me now present to you a summary of items we need to take into consideration when managing a bucket list.
If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. If it's a guy thing, then this is the time to get the okay from her if she had no ambition to join you. Explain exactly what your intentions are. Be totally transparent and honest. Be respectful and understanding at all times to her concerns and fears. Address those concerns and fears to her satisfaction. If she is part of the adventure, always be supportive of her needs. Never run her down or criticize her in front of other members of your group. While brainstorming, write down any and all thoughts that both of you have. Each of you write those thoughts on a separate scrap piece of paper to discuss when recording the summary. We have different dreams and desires, so negotiate what both of you would be happy with. Summarize once you feel you have covered all bases. When would you like to embark on this adventure? Are there seasonal requirements you need to accommodate? How many days do you estimate the adventure will take? Are there specific events that take place at your destination which you particularly want to share in? Research weather conditions at your intended destination. Build into your objectives at least 10% more days than anticipated, just in case they are needed. 20% might even be better, depending on terrain and circumstances. Identify deadlines and review regularly to ensure you remain on target. Some people take on challenges that are not age appropriate. Remember that when you are where no man's gone before, it means what it says. There is no one to ask for help and assistance. Make sure that the condition of your health is up to the task. Improve your fitness by doing more walking or exercise before departure. If you consider it appropriate because of a health condition, then consult your doctor, explaining to him the nature of your intended adventure. Plan to take extra medication for your adventure. Allow for those unexpected extra days. Tell all your friends about your intended adventure. Discuss, especially with those who have done such adventure before. Learn from the experience of others. Appoint a family coordinator to keep track of your progress. Share all relevant information with your coordinator and agree on the frequency of updates and from where you plan to make them. The question of taking along friends can make or break your adventure.
I had a friend, Henry Gambon, who was more like a brother than a friend. We fished and travelled together for more than 40 years, and never an angry word was spoken. On the other hand, I had 2 bad experiences, and so this must be considered very carefully. You need to know your friends very well and be aware of certain traits they might have. Having someone who always has to be right is a no-go. To have someone who gets noisy and aggressive when intoxicated is a definite no-go. I realize that there can be safety in numbers, but never at a price. The decision to commit is a lot easier when you have gone through the above process. Now that we are committed, the serious work of researching and getting to know our routes and destination in fine detail begins. Realize you can never know too much. As they say in the Boy Scouts, be prepared. Identify activities that you are physically and mentally up to. Consider those activities, especially with your wife, but also all members you plan to invite along. Do not be a slave driver. Respect the needs of others. Make sure that the friends you plan to invite along are compatible. One difficult person in a group destroys the enjoyment for everyone. Do not take on more than you and all members of your party can handle. If a single person is always nervous and scared and does not have an adventurous spirit, do not force them to participate. That person can become a handbrake, spoiling it for everyone. Never be a daredevil and place group members in danger. Always be cautious, careful, and responsible. Always remember that at the end of the day, if something goes wrong, you will have to account to families of group members. At the outset, during the planning phase of your adventure, draft a budget in consultation with all members of your group. Do not commit to extras without consulting and informing group members as to your intentions or suggestions. The last thing that group members want is for substantial costs to be pounced on them during the adventure. All participants must be happy that costs are within the limitations of their personal budget. Depending on your time frame, ensure that you meet regularly to review and update all members. At a minimum, you should meet at least once per month. Establish a group on one of the social platforms so that you can interact and keep all members fully informed on progress being made on decisions that have been taken. Don't allow only one person to do all the research. Get every member to work independently in important issues and share your findings and suggestions with one another. Draw up a timetable and agree on target dates by which certain tasks have to be completed. Nominate a secretary to ensure that the timetable is maintained and adhered to. Identify and record names of specific members who are charged with a specific task. Record these decisions in a journal at your monthly or more frequent meetings. Never allow yourself to be put under time pressure by leaving everything to the last minute, like just the last week.